Hello, it's Will here. Thanks for joining me again for another video. This seems to be the third this week, which is pretty incredible. And I'm sharing a story about pressure. It's something that I remember, it's something that came up for me this morning, so I want to share it and hopefully it can serve you. Now, the story is set in secondary school, and we used to have these things called advisory periods. So we used to go to a teacher, and there'd be students there from every year. And I was about 17, 18, so towards the end of my studies, and I used to bunk off of these. I used to sort of sneak off and say I was doing work and not actually doing work. Unbelievable, I know. But I used to go to the hall. There was a big hall there, and there was this grand piano. And as a keen pianist, there's nothing more I love than just sitting there and playing piano. And to this day, you know this, if I've been to your house and you've got a piano, I'll ignore you. I'm going to sit and just play piano for a few hours. I just absolutely love it. So I used to do this quite often. I'd just sit and just play. And on one occasion, it sort of backfired. So I sat in the hall. I think I was with my friend Alex, probably. And we were just sitting, playing, having some fun. And the head teacher walked in. And I sort of froze and I looked up, a bit like a meerkat. I sort of looked up like that. And at the time, if you're a maths school student or maths school teacher or whatever, you probably remember Mrs. Everett. And I used to do a really good impression of her. I don't anymore. I've forgotten. It's been too long. But I just remember her smile. She had a very distinctive smile, which was always, it looked very, very fake, put it that way. Anyway, so she walked in, she smiled, and she stood there, and there was this moment where our eyes met. And she walked in, and she said, "Carry on playing, William." So I carried on playing. And following her was about 300 students and teachers. I didn't realise it, but that day that I'd chosen to bunk off and play piano was actually an assembly from another group of students and teachers. So I was sat there going, oh my God. And head teacher just said, "Carry on playing." So I sat there and I played, and it took about sort of 5 minutes for all these students to come in. And I played, and I tell you what, the stuff I was playing was phenomenal. It wasn't normally that good. For some reason, I was coming up with things. I was playing chords I'd never played. I had this newfound confidence, or this newfound skill, which I hadn't sort of tapped into before. So I played, and she turned around, Mrs. Everett, and she smiled, and as if to say, now you can stop. And she gave the assembly, and again, as the students were leaving, she turned around and said, "Oh, please carry on playing, William." So I continued to play. And just looking back, I was thinking, I don't know why this popped into my head this morning, but it was actually that pressure. When I was underneath that pressure to perform, I really did. When it was just me and my friend, we were playing for fun, there wasn't too much at stake, but there was something about that pressure. There was something about performing in front of 300 people. There's something about having the headmistress sort of smile at me and me feel accountable to her that actually made me perform at my best. And I think the lesson here is actually pressure is a good thing. It gets a very bad rap. We feel that pressure can be something terrible. It can be something which we crumble under. But actually, we can view it as something helpful. We can view pressure as a tool that can use us. So my question to you is, how can you apply pressure on yourself in a way that's going to serve you? So whether that's being held accountable to someone, so like I was being held accountable by the smile to this headmistress, and if you think back to times where you've probably produced some of your best work, it probably is under pressure. It probably is at times where the pressure's been there, it's been on, but still you've managed to put it through and produce some incredible work. So like I say, as always, I hope this serves you. Wish you a phenomenal day, and thank you for watching. Stay awesome. See you soon.